welcome to my new office. I don't have any furniture yet, but I don't want to rush and buy stuff that I'm not gonna like because this space is really small and I want to make sure I only put here stuff that I will enjoy. I'm gonna start on a positive note because I'm gonna share some things about this rod that I don't really like, and a lot of you will probably get the impression that whatever it's criticism to the rod, which it isn't. But let's start with the good things first. In terms of how the rod feels in the hand, I can confirm. I said that in my first review, but I can confirm that after 2 months and maybe, 15 fishing sessions, there is almost something like a magic, the way the rod feels in your hand with the tiny reel that I put on top of it. Definitely I don't have any other rod that in the hand feels so nice. I mean, the whole balance, I think, is right here in the handle of the rod. These micro guides, I'm not a fan of them, but when it comes to feel, they make you feel like you have nothing in the hand. It is just something totally different, and I don't have any other rod that can compare to this in terms of just how it feels in the hand. Also, in terms of fighting the fish, the same story. I don't have, because the rod is so light, there is something like a direct connection between me and the fish. Like when the fish is struggling and swimming left, it is just so awesome. Like I feel all of the struggle of the fish like directly connected to my hand. Even though this is a very soft rod, maybe the tip of the tip is even too soft, I still feel everything. So in terms of the fishing just pleasure and the fishing impression and just from holding the rod, this rod is absolutely amazing, and just I don't have anything else that compares to it. And I can even tell you that if you've never fished a rod that costs more than $150, and I tell you, give me $10 and I'll let you fish this rod for 10 minutes, and you catch just one little bluegill and one little crappie with this rod, you're gonna tell me, Victor, here's the $10? Totally worth it. This is how good this rod is. It's just a pure pleasure that I experienced every minute I fish with it. Okay. And one more thing about the positive side, you probably saw from the video, in the beginning of this video, that I was afraid that the rod will be too fragile because the tip here is just, absolutely ridiculously thin, which made me very nervous. But I started flipping bigger and bigger and bigger fish, and the last fish in the video weighed exactly 1 pound, and I held the rod almost vertical, and it still suspended that 1 pound fish in the air. So I have never used the net while fishing with this rod. I've bolt flipped everything. You can't be stupid, obviously. You can't, when you lift the fish in the rod, you can't hold the rod just completely vertical. You have to, there is kind of like something like a critical angle. You have to keep some angle so the weight of the fish falls all over the blank. If you hold it completely vertical, it will bend and you will have one point of the tip here where all the weight will be, and it can snap right there. So as long as you don't do anything stupid, I think you can bolt flip, I would say probably 1.5 pounds with this rod. Okay. So yeah, a lot of good things definitely that I learned and experienced with this rod. And I found some things that actually don't work for me. And before I even go there, I want you to know that I'm aware that this rod is not designed for me, and it's not designed for my style of fishing, okay, for jigging for crappie. I'm totally aware of that. The rod is designed for Mebaru, for fishing harbors, saltwater fish, where you kind of cast longer distances. I'm aware of that, so when I tell you that some things don't work for me, I'm not saying that there is a flaw or defect in the rod, okay? This is just because of my fishing technique is different than the fishing technique that the rod was designed for, okay? And the first thing is this solid tip. The solid tip is just not my thing. I mean, this is my first solid tip rod. If I don't count ugly sticks, those are solid tip too, but that's a totally different thing. It's not even apples to oranges, it's like monkeys to donkeys. But solid tips are just, I don't think it's the rod. They're just inherently no good for jigging, okay? Because the tip is just too soft. When the solid tip, look at this tip. I don't know if you can see on the background, but the tip is just too soft. So if you use a weight, a jig head heavier than 1.2 grams exactly, if you use 1.5, already when you jig, on every jig, the tip flexes a little bit. So when the tip flexes, that kills my action, okay? So this rod is no good for jigging heavy lures. The lures have to be 1.2 grams or less. On top of that, the soft tip, I mean, this is still my most sensitive rod, but when I'm just thinking about it, okay, the soft tip has to absorb some of the sensitivity. When the fish bites, it has to absorb some of that sensitivity by flexing. It's just the nature of physics. So even though I can still, because I used it with only polyester lines, I switched between the Daiwa and the Varivas, but extremely sensitive lines, and sensitivity with that line in this rod is again better than anything else that I own. But the solid tip, in my opinion, is first no good for jigging, and second no good for sensitivity. So in hindsight, I would buy the exact same rod but with tubular tip, not solid tip, okay? The other thing that I had problem is, and I got so many emails, people got in line just to tell me that I'm wrong about, micro guides. But I'm absolutely not a fan of these micro guides. I don't want to get into this topic right now because I want to make a video just about micro guides, okay? But let me just say that believe me, I'm aware of all of the benefits of micro guides, and you can't have a rod with amazing feeling in the hand without micro guides. Right now, just physics. The guides that I like would be bigger and too heavy, and they would kill the magic feeling. I'm aware of that. And I'm not even saying that I would prefer, for example, the guides on my Daiwa Presso over these guides. If you gave me the choice, I would probably still select these guides because I want the magic feeling in my hand. But with all of that said, these micro guides, I don't even remember how many are there. Well, I'm not going to count them, it doesn't matter. It's just too many micro guides. I mean, they're really micro. What a long tangent. All I wanted to say is that these micro guides absolutely stink. They stink for casting. Okay, I don't care what you're gonna tell me. I'm telling you, I switched my reels, my Daiwa Presso reel and the theory reels back and forth 5 or 6 times. You can even, if you look in the video, You can even see different reels on this rod, okay? And yeah, these guys absolutely stink. You know, the way I fish, I get very close with the boat to the brush or whatever I'm fishing, and then I don't cast overhand. I just, you know, kind of underhand, kind of lob the lure over there, and I'm very accurate this way, and I kind of don't spook the fish. I'm all about being super quiet when I fish the brush. And I couldn't lob underhand, I couldn't lob my regular 0.8 gram. 0.8 gram is kind of like the magic jig for me. I don't fish deep. I fish from 8 to 16 feet, and 0.8 grams sinks fast enough, the action is good. I just can't cast it with these micro guides. And here is the thing, of all the rods I own, from the $20 Shakespeare micro series to, I don't know, I think I don't own ultralight rods that cost more than $100, but I have a bunch of $100 rods. This is without a doubt, I checked this, my worst casting rod right now. What an irony. My $300 rod is my worst casting rod. Any other rod I own will underhand lob a 0.8 gram jig, even with thicker lines. This rod, it is just very difficult. So you can't use heavy jigs because the tip flexes. And you can't use light jigs because they're too light to cast with these micro guides. So you are stuck with a very small sweet spot between 0.8 and 1.2 grams. I would say 1 gram is the perfect jig for this rod. Which I'm kind of lucky because 1 gram and 0.8, they're close enough. 1 gram is kind of what I use half the time anyway. So it's not that bad. I can still have plenty of, you know, useful application for this rod, but I just wanted to, you know, to be aware if you buy these rods with the solid tips and the micro guides, this is not easy. But that's it, guys. Hopefully somebody will find this review useful. I got a bunch of other stuff coming up. I have so much JDM terminal tackle waiting for reviews that you can see some of it over there. Digitaka actually sent me some stuff for free that I need to review now, and we have 6 inches of snow outside. But yeah, stay tuned for the upcoming reviews. Thank you for watching this one. Hope to see you around. Bye bye.